Today, we're diving into 5 of the most horrifying murder cases ever recorded. Viewer discretion is strongly advised. Case 1. The Toy Box Killer, David Parker Ray. In a small New Mexico town called Truth or Consequences, lived a man with a secret so vile, locals still can't believe it. David Parker Ray, known later as the Toy Box Killer, worked as a maintenance man. But hidden behind his trailer was something unimaginable, a soundproof torture chamber. He called it the Toy Box, and inside were whips, gags, surgical tools, chains, and a mirror mounted above a gynecological chair. Victims were drugged, chained, and tortured for days. Ray recorded audio tapes which he played for victims to let them know what was about to happen to them. In 1999, a woman named Cynthia Vigil managed to escape, naked, in chains, leading police to the horror house. Shockingly, despite Ray confessing to dozens of murders, no bodies were ever found. He died of a heart attack in 2002, just days after sentencing. Ray's crimes weren't just physical, they were psychological warfare designed to erase identity and instill permanent fear. Case 2. Junko Furuta, the 44 Days of Hell. In Japan, the name Junko Furuta evokes only one thing: pure horror. In 1988, 17-year-old Junko was abducted by 4 teenage boys. She was held captive in one of their homes, while the boys' parents turned a blind eye. For 44 days, Junko endured unimaginable torture: beatings, sexual assault, cigarette burns, starvation, broken bones, and more. She was once left with such severe injuries that she could no longer use her hands. When she finally succumbed to her injuries, her captors stuffed her body in a concrete drum and left it near Tokyo Bay. The boys, all underage, received shockingly lenient sentences, sparking public outrage. Junko's case led to widespread debate in Japan about juvenile crime and victim justice, but many still feel it wasn't enough. Case 3. Catherine Knight, the Cannibal Killer. Catherine Knight was a butcher, and not just by profession. John Price was a father of 3 and a well-liked man in town. He began dating Catherine in the mid-1990s, and their relationship was rocky from the start. Despite several violent incidents, including stabbings and threats, John kept going back until he finally had enough. In early 2000, he told friends and co-workers he was afraid Catherine might kill him. He even showed them a restraining order he had filed. He was right to be afraid. On the night of February 29, 2000, Catherine Knight went to John Price's house. They had sex, and he fell asleep. While he slept, she stabbed him 37 times with a butcher's knife. John tried to escape. Blood evidence showed he made it to the front door, but Catherine pulled him back inside and finished the job. Then the horror escalated. She skinned his entire body with precision, hanging the skin from a meat hook in the living room. She decapitated him and cooked parts of his body in a stew with vegetables. Police later found 2 place settings at the dinner table, each with a name card, one for each of John Price's children. Catherine Knight had prepared a gruesome meal, seemingly intended to be served to the victim's own family. Thankfully, the children never arrived. Catherine Knight was the first Australian woman sentenced to life in prison without parole. To this day, she remains behind bars at Silverwater Women's Correctional Center. Case 4. Luca Magnata, Murder on Camera. In 2012, a video appeared online, titled "One Lunatic, One Ice Pick." It showed a man tied to a bed, being stabbed, murdered, and dismembered, while music played in the background. The killer? Luca Magnata, a Canadian porn actor with a history of disturbing online behavior. Magnotta craved fame. He auditioned for reality shows, faked tabloid stories, and may have posted videos of animal cruelty years earlier. His victim was Lin Jun, an international student from China. After killing him, Luka mailed body parts to Canadian political offices and schools. The crime shocked the nation, and soon, the world. Magnotta fled to Europe, sparking a global manhunt. He was eventually caught in Berlin, in an internet cafe, reading news about himself. In 2014, Magnotta was convicted of first-degree murder and sentenced to life in prison with no parole for 25 years. He is currently serving his sentence in Quebec. Netflix's Don't F with Cats tells how a group of internet users helped identify and track him down. This case raised ethical questions about internet sleuthing, digital footprints, and how killers crave attention online. Case 5. Albert Fish, the Gray Man. In May of 1928, a frail, elderly man knocked on the door of the Budd family home in New York City. He introduced himself as Frank Howard, a farmer looking to hire their teenage son, Edward Budd, for summer work. Polite, well-dressed, harmless. He charmed the family, especially 10-year-old Grace Budd, Edward's younger sister. Days later, Mr. Howard returned, but this time he said there was a birthday party nearby and asked if Grace could come with him. Her parents hesitated, but eventually agreed. It was the last time they ever saw her alive. Grace Budd vanished without a trace. Her parents were frantic. Police followed every lead, but nothing made sense. Frank Howard didn't exist. Weeks became months. The case went cold, and the Budds were left with no answers, just silence. Then, 6 years later, in 1934, Grace's mother received a letter in the mail. It was handwritten, long, and sickeningly detailed. The writer confessed that he had taken Grace. He described how he lured her into an abandoned house, and then how he killed and ate her. The letter said, "I choked her to death. Then I cut her into small pieces so I could take my meat to my room, cook it, and eat it." The man behind the letter? Albert Fish, a serial killer, cannibal, and sadist with a long, hidden history of abuse and torture. He claimed to have murdered children across multiple states, guided by what he believed were divine voices. The letter contained enough detail to lead police straight to him. Fish was arrested in 1934 and quickly confessed to the murder of Grace Budd and several other children. He showed no remorse. In fact, he seemed proud, smiling during interviews and describing his crimes in horrific detail. Albert Fish was declared sane and stood trial. The jury found him guilty and sentenced him to death. On January 16, 1936, Albert Fish was executed in the electric chair at Sing Sing prison. His last words were never recorded, but the guards said he went willingly. Even among serial killers, Fish is remembered as one of the most deranged, a man who blended politeness with perversion and used trust to destroy innocence. These cases are reminders that real horror doesn't need fiction. Sometimes the truth is far more terrifying. If you like this video, give it a thumbs up, subscribe, and hit the bell for more chilling true crime stories every week. And tell us in the comments which case disturbed you the most. Thank you for watching, stay safe, and stay aware.